Hey, Chris. So you just finished your lead generation course,
Yes.
and did you enjoy that?
Yes, I did.
Good. Good.
I do have a question for you.
Okay.
The course spent a lot of time talking about contact database management, and I don't understand where that fits in. Also, Gary, I understand that's where Keller Williams was built.
Sure, absolutely, and it's still built that way today.
Okay. It seems like a really mundane task, but the book talks about it quite a bit.
Right.
Can you tell me more about that?
Sure, absolutely. Think of it this way, Chris. Sales is an activity. If you're going to build a sales profession, however, you're going to have to build it on contact management. A sales profession is contact management. And when we talk about contact management, we really have two broad issues we have to deal with. One is when you meet someone and you want to remember how to get in touch with them later, or you want to market to them consistently over time, how do you set that up? The other issue you're going to have to deal with is if that same individual also says in 3 months, I want to either list or buy a home, how will you consistently know to stay in touch with them so that you're there with them when they need to make that decision? How do you do that naturally? Well, we call that contact management or database management, okay? Keller Williams was built on actually this box right here. I've dusted it off for this video, but I went back and pulled out the actual box I used in 1979. Now today you have technology, and we'll talk about that in a second, but I'm going to encourage you that you start your lead generation program to build your career on a box. And as quickly as you understand the concepts and you understand what they do for you, then I'm going to say go for it. And whether that be in 30 days, 60, 90 days, or a year, I'm going to say then, once you understand what you're trying to achieve with the system, then go sit down and analyze the different technology options, programs that are available today that will help you do this a lot easier and a lot quicker.
Okay.
Because technology will do that.
Okay.
But one of the mistakes that a lot of people make is they jump into technology too quickly and they don't really understand what it's supposed to do for them.
Okay.
And if you do understand that and you want to go ahead and go with technology, that's fine. But I'm going to encourage you to wait just a little while.
What I don't understand, Gary, is, well, I can understand the concept of a file system,
Yeah.
but I don't understand how I'm supposed to use this on a day-to-day basis.
Okay.
That's what I'm struggling with.
All right. Well, can I just go to the box and open it and just talk to you about it for a second?
Sure.
Okay. So if essentially this is my business. I want you to think of it this way. When we hear about professional individuals outside of real estate, doctors, lawyers, and you hear about them selling their practice, what are they selling? Well, they have some equipment and all that, but ignoring all of that, what are they actually selling?
Well, I imagine they're clients.
Right, their client database.
Yeah.
Okay, what if they hadn't kept one? What if they hadn't nurtured it? What if that was just a loose bunch of names that people had done business with them over the years?
Okay.
Okay, that's going to be very different than an attorney or a doctor or a realtor, such as yourself, who has taken the time to actually build long-term relationships with people through what we call contact management and database management. So I want you to think of, at the end of the day, this is your business. This box, or again, later it's going to be in a computer, but this box, for now, represents your business. This is it.
Okay.
Okay? Now, the way that contact management works is real simple, and it's easier to demonstrate, in my opinion, with paper than with a computer, which is why we're doing that today.
Okay.
But here's what's going to happen. Now I'm going to actually teach it to you the same way I learned it, okay?
Okay.
I have a degree in real estate. I came out of college in '79, and this is the way they taught me to do it. This is the way I did it.
Okay.
First thing is, and actually for this class, or for this video, excuse me, I actually unstapled business cards and unglued them, so these are actual 1979 cards.
Wow, vintage.
Yeah, like you care, of course. But it was cool for me, yeah. Vintage, they're a little discolored. These are actually the same cards right here that I used back in 1979.
So you've got cards that have letters.
Let's go through that.
Okay.
So here's what, let's start in this manner.
Okay.
To get this system in place, I'm going to encourage you to have 2 different colored cards. And it doesn't matter, just 2 different color ones, okay? Then you're going to need cards that say A through Z, okay? Just as
Okay.
A through Z.
Okay.
Okay. Then we're going to need cards that say January through December.
Okay.
And then we're going to need cards that say 1 through 31.
Okay.
Okay. Now, with these 5 elements, 2 different colored cards, A through Z, January through December, 1 through 31, we're ready to go.
Okay.
So here's what happens. You're out prospecting, marketing, lead generating, and you meet someone.
Okay.
And let's say that individual says, no, we're not interested in doing business today of any type, but in 6 months or a year, we might. That's a prospect.
Okay.
Okay? So what we do is we immediately, when we get back to the office, we get all the data in whatever form you want. If you carry these cards with you, you can just write them on the card. But
Okay.
you get back to your office, you're going to fill out 2 cards. We're going to make the yellow one our permanent record. Okay? So we're going to write down all the pertinent information about them: name, address, phone number, email, address, everything, and any other data that we need to know about them, birthdays and things like that. We're going to write all that down.
Okay.
And this is a permanent record.
Okay.
We're gonna alphabetize it by their last name. We're gonna take it and we're gonna put it right here, okay, in the A through Z.
Okay.
Turn around, but I'm gonna stick it up right now.
Okay.
We're gonna file it right there.
Okay.
Now, so if ever I need to know what their phone number is or address is or anything pertinent about them, where do I go?
You go to the yellow card.
There it is. Yeah, I know exactly where it is. I go to it, pull it out, and there's everything I need to know. It's always there.
And then I would imagine, as I learn more about that prospect, as I develop a relationship with him or her, I keep adding.
Sure, it goes to the
To the
permanent
yellow
card.
card.
Sure, it goes to the
Okay.
yellow card.
Okay.
Yeah. The nice thing about technology is this card, and by the way, I want you to notice why my cards were so big, right? Because a lot of data and stuff that I put on them.
Yeah.
But a computer is just even easier and can handle a lot more information than even this little card. So depending upon how much you wanted to add over time, there's some software programs that do a wonderful job of just building and building on that. They give you a lot of space to do that, okay?
Okay.
But the big cards really worked well for me getting started in my lead generation program.
Okay.
So we've created the permanent record. Now, the other card, the white card, is going to be my ongoing contact record with them. So I'm going to put their name, address, and phone number here, and probably email address there.
Okay.
And maybe the names of spouse, kids, or whatever, just so I have that there. And then I'm going to write the date today, and I'm going to say, met, had this discussion. They said that they would be needing to talk in 6 months to a year about, let's say, selling their home. I'll write that down. Bam.
Okay.
Okay? Now what do I do with this card? Here's what I do. I go through, and let's just pretend that today is January 1st. And 6 months then is going to be around June. So what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to put it probably in February or March, but probably February. I'm going to give it 30 days or 45 days or whatever. I'm just going to drop it behind that month.
Okay.
Okay? And we're done. Now what's going to happen is I'm now going to roll along January, February, March, April, okay? I'm going to roll along, and come February, the first thing I'm going to do at the beginning of the month is I'm going to go to my February card, and behind it I'm going to pull out all the cards sitting there.
Okay.
And hopefully we're going to have a big stack of cards.
Okay.
And as I go through them, I'm going to find their card, and it's going to say, they said, they might be doing something in 6 months. That would be June of this year.
Okay.
Notice it's in February. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at it and I'm going to go, do I need to do anything with them this month?
Okay.
It's a reminder. We call that a tickler system, right?
Yes.
Okay. It's called tickling the files. So what I'm doing is it's going to pop out automatically, and I'm going to say, do I need to do something with that? If I do, then I do it. Okay. Call them, write a note, drive by and see them, whatever. I do whatever I think I need to do. If I look at it and I go, nah, you know what, that would be bugging them, or I actually ran into them or something, or somehow I have knowledge or an opinion that isn't it, what should I do? Well, I'll just put it in March.
Okay.
So I just bump it if I don't want to
Okay.
do anything with it. If I do something with it, then I keep it in my stack, and that's the group of cards I work this month.
Okay.
Okay?
So you only use that once a month?
What, the card filing system?
Yes.
No, here's what happens. Now that we've set the system in place, let's go one step further. Let's say, for instance, that I have another person that I meet, and I have my permanent record. I fill all that out. I file it under the permanent record. But this person needs to buy a home, or something needs to happen next week.
Okay.
Or I need to follow up again with them next week.
Okay.
Okay, what do I do with that? Well, I fill out the interim card,
Okay.
okay, and I pop it under January, but notice I have 1 through 31 in here.
Ah.
And 1 through 31 is sitting behind January. So I now pop it behind January 8th.
Okay.
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 So what happens is that in the month that I'm in, let's say it's January, the month that I'm in, I actually have the 1 through 31 behind that.
Okay.
And I'm moving the cards through the month.
Ah, okay.
So I'm working the 1 through 31 all month long.
Okay.
Okay, just a simple little system. If I have an assistant, that individual's doing the same thing. If they know of things that need to happen or need to be done, they drop them in behind those days too.
Okay.
Okay, with a client or customer.
Okay.
Not tasks, just contacting or doing something with a customer.
Okay.
But if they know of something, you need to call the Jones next week and blah, 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 fine, they can move that card too.
Okay.
And they go in, they move it, and it pops up, and they go, oh, Jones, blah, 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 here I need to do.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
So this is a great way to say, oh, we've sold them a home, the next thing we need to do is get them pre-qualify on Thursday. Well, let's say Thursday is the 5th. Bam, I put it behind the 5th. I take care of what I need to now, put it behind the 5th, it pops back up.
Okay. So you don't have a special section for customers, a special section for prospects, a special section for past customers.
No.
They're all treated the same as
Yeah.
you work your way through.
Sure, it's just my customers. There's
Okay.
no reason, there really is, I actually tried that, and that didn't work well at all for me. They're my customers. Now, here's what happens. This system does two things for me.
Okay.
Number one, it helps me create a database that I then implement, let's say my 33-touch program or whatever farming or
8x8?
Sure, 8x8, any of the programs that you're implementing to market to people over a long period of time, it's the A through Z file. You pull it out, and that's what you market to. So think about it. Every month you're doing two things with your file. One is you're marketing to your A to Z,
Okay.
whether it be 33-touch or whatever. The other thing you're doing is you're actually working through the individual relationships, contacting them as they need to be based on their needs. All you did was put people in a database and market to them every week or 2 or 3 weeks. You've only done part of it.
Okay.
And I see a lot of people do this.
Yeah.
They simply create the permanent database, market to it, but they don't follow up. And one of the biggest complaints you hear about professional service individuals, not just in real estate, but just professional service individuals in general, they don't follow up.
Yep.
I get a newsletter from them, but they never seem to pay attention as if I'm anybody unique.
Okay.
Right, I get their newsletter, I get their mailer, I get a generic voice message, maybe from a telemarketer or something. But they're never addressing me. Well, that's because they're not working off of that professional is not working off of a white card.
Sure.
That professional is simply working off of a yellow card.
So it's really mass marketing. There's nothing personal about it.
Well, the
When you
yellow
have one
card represents mass marketing, that's what 33 Touch and all this really is it's about direct response mass marketing, isn't it? Right.
Yeah.
It's taking a large database and
Okay.
and literally, like we teach in our classes, is like dating these people over time. But the thing is, it's not really personal. We have to attach to it as well the white card, which is the ongoing, what do I need to do now? So essentially, if you think about, we can probably wrap this up by saying that if you think about contact management or database management is, you should always be moving the car, the game is always moving the car forward, right?
Yeah.
It's always, and even if you sell them a property or whatever, or sell their property, you don't throw away the card, the white card. The white card says, now what do I do?
Yep.
You would be amazed. People even moving out of city or out of state, keep them. Write down their new address. Call them up every 6 months. How long would that take?
Yeah.
All right, any other questions?
Boy, I can't think of anything.
All right, good.
I really appreciate you taking the time to explain this to me.
You're welcome,
I
Derek.
heard
Good
you were
luck.
the master.